from the age of 2 or 3, okay, we're already looking at each other and deciding what's right and what's wrong. So when you're 2, when you're having a certain amount of identity, you look at your parents and everything that you see them do, you start imbibing. You look at your older brothers and sisters and you start imbibing because you believe, obviously they're older, they're smarter, they're wiser, and they have to know what they're doing, right? You go to school, you look at your teachers, you look at the older kids, you look at the class monitors. Whoever is older and in power, you observe them because you believe, okay, if they're older, they must be wiser, they are in power, they're doing the right thing. Even if that behavior is immoral or unethical, by default, you have embraced it and believed, but that's the right thing to do. And that's why you have toxic cultures running through organizations. So leaders especially, and it gets worse and worse and worse as you enter the corporate space. So already you have, kids who turn into bullies, who become bigger bullies in college, and then you enter the workspace and now you have torture and you have a toxic work culture because it's just gone from bad to worse, but it started at the age of 2. Now, there was a very interesting experiment that was done in Berkeley's university. So sociologists and psychologists had put a random mock team of about 50 kids in a room, okay? And they were not bosses, they were not leaders, they were not working people. It was just a random psychological experiment just to test out this theory. And they put a plate of cookies in the room and they asked them, they told them that you 10 are the bosses and the leaders, okay, in a mock manner. And you are mid-management, and you last lot are the lower level management, okay? So now just interact with each other. And they closed the glass doors and they were observing their behavior for 30 minutes. And what they realized is that within the first 10 minutes, the people who were randomly chosen as leaders started behaving in a very toxic, noxious, horrid, entitled manner. They ate more cookies. They splattered more cookies on the table, expecting the others to clean it up. The other people were scared and ate lesser cookies. And basically, by the amount of crumbs that were left on the table, you could see that people who were just for 10 minutes made leaders had become horrible people. So you see, where had they picked up this behavior? They had picked it up a long time before they had reached the workplace. It just gets amplified in organizations, okay? So the higher up you go, it's like on a mountain. The higher up you go, there's more myopia, right? You can't see planet Earth. You're up there and you suddenly believe, ooh, I'm more entitled. I deserve more. I need more cookies. And while I'm eating, I'm going to shove a lot of cookies onto you and you're going to clean it up, okay? You just believe you're entitled. So if you look at a lot of bosses, as they move into the glass cabins, they take the bigger share of the increments, they want bigger share of the bonuses, they want the bigger room, they start fighting on the rooms, and I can see a lot of smiles in this room because they are kind of relating to this conversation. So you see, the higher up you go, the more you actually justify to yourself your dishonourable behaviour. And guess what? When you're high up on that ladder, you have those rules, you must come at 6:30, you must leave at this time, etc. Guess what the bosses think? The rules apply to the common man. They don't apply to me because I'm the boss, dude. So this is the actual level of idiotic myopia that comes into the workplaces. This is the level. So, there's a saying, it's very tough and lonely at the top. I add to it, it's morally perilous. The minute you get up there, expect to become a jerk, unfortunately. So what do we do with this problem? Okay, so then I said we have to go way back. Honorable leadership, ethical leadership, and therefore ethical workplaces. This can only happen if these qualities are developed very, very, very early on in our kids. Maybe somewhere in our parenting itself we have gone wrong. We turn around and look at our bosses and we blame everything else externally, okay? A true leader is not the one who's stealing all the cookies and running away. He's like, how much more can I give to the people?